I have been doing research on feminine energy. I want to tap into my feminine energy more. And it's all over the place. You can't miss it if you're on social media at all, on YouTube or TikTok. There's countless influencers that are promoting feminine energy, what it looks like, what it feels like. And so I've been diving into it a little bit. And I have noticed that I've gotten a couple good tips from it. And I wanted to share my 5 best tips for tapping into your feminine energy. So the first one that has helped me the most is to slow down, to stop rushing around, to stop taking on so many tasks that you have to knock them out fast when possible. Now, if you're a single mom and you're working a full-time job, you've got to move fast. You don't have the luxury of slowing down. But if you're a woman in her 60s or 50s, like I am, and you're semi-retired, which I am, or fully retired, you do have the time to slow down. I think not overscheduling your day is such a luxury. And not necessarily walking slower or physically moving slower, but slowing down the racing thoughts, slowing down the to-do lists and shortening the to-do list. Instead of 10 items you want to get done today, maybe your top 3, and make them truly your most important and keep your word and do them. But slowing down, eat slower. Don't rush through visiting friends. Just don't watch the clock quite so much. Just taking your time. And it feels really good to slow down. The other thing that I personally really needed to do was when someone's in crisis or needs help, but they can probably help themselves, I need to take a beat, because typically my natural reaction is to jump in and save people. I've done that with caretaking. I've done that with neighbors. I've done that with family. When I see that someone is in crisis or they need help or they're making bad choices, I want to jump in and help them. I want to jump in with advice. I want to jump in with aid. And that's not always what they want or need. And it seldom serves a good purpose for me other than the validation of being needed. So I've been working on slowing down my reactive aid and just letting relationships breathe a little more instead of trying to fix them or help them or drag them along to the next level. Not everybody wants to go to the next level, and that's okay. Not everybody should go to the next level. Some people are perfectly happy where they are, and sometimes they just want to be heard. So that has been a step that I've been really enjoying doing, and just not steering the conversation with your advice, but to take a pause. It doesn't mean I'm not going to help people that need it or ask for it, but not everybody needs help. And so that's something that has really helped me. I've also been, now the third thing, so we've got slowing down, we've got taking a pause before you jump in and save people. The third thing is I have been enjoying creative outlets more. I have been focused on making my house beautiful. I've been working on noticing the beauty on dog walks. That's something I've done for a while now, and I really enjoy it. The seasons change, and with the different seasons come different flowers, different trees, different leaves. Even just pretty houses, pretty dogs. There's something beautiful to be seen every day. And noticing that and taking it in makes me happier. So that's one thing, is noticing the beauty around me and creating the beauty around me. When my house feels beautiful, when I add fresh flowers, when I add little dream catchers I have a dream catcher in my living room, and it catches the light because it's sliced green stones. And so when the sun goes down, it comes through those those stones, and it casts little sparkles on the walls. And and candlelight at night, the flicker of the candlelight, just creating a homey, cozy space. So I've been leaning into beauty. I've been, not just makeup and clothes, but creating beauty wherever I am. And then also, having little rituals. I have an evening ritual when I get home at night and the work day is done. I take off my shoes, I go get in the shower, I take my time, I exfoliate, and I use really nice bath washes that are scented. I like scents. If you're fragrance free, that's fine. But for me, I like the sensory experience of a nice hot shower with good smelling bath products, and then I lotion my body afterwards, so everything is soft and smooth and supple, and I take my time. I don't rush through it. And then I put on something really soft and silky to lounge in for the rest of the evening. I've got a collection of kaftans and pajamas and nightgowns and beautiful satin robes, and I enjoy putting those on my body after my shower. And then I'll go in the living room and I'll light some candles, feed my dogs, make a cup of tea, or just a real tall glass of ice water. And then I'll settle in and watch a little bit of TV. I usually try to watch something funny in the evening or something heartfelt, but I want to encourage the laughter and the joy and just feeling good before I turn in for bed. I know a lot of people say don't scroll, that you should read a book. By the end of the day, I'm tired and I don't want to read. And not everybody needs to read. I listen to books in the car when I'm driving to and from clients. And so I'm not in the mood to read. I like a little bit of TV, and I think that's okay. Maybe the blue lights aren't good for me, but I have no trouble sleeping. So it's not affecting me. If it were affecting me, then I might revisit it. And then I try to get to bed early so that I can wake up early and still have a really good night's sleep. And so I'll get in bed usually around 9 o'clock, and I'll scroll for an hour. Yeah, I'll let the blue lights hit me some more. And I know that that's not supposed to be healthy, but again, I have no trouble sleeping whatsoever. And I like to laugh a little. I like to get some ideas before I go to bed. And I like to just have a little bit of a mindless scroll. And I'm not promoting that, but it's what I do. And I'm just being honest. I'm not going to give up my scroll. I'm not going to scroll for multiple hours, but I allow myself an hour of scrolling every night. And, just little rituals like that. And then in the morning, I have a ritual, my morning routine. I'll get up, make the bed, walk the dogs, put on my wash my face, put on my makeup, film a little outfit of the day video. But I take my time putting on my makeup and I enjoy it, and I don't rush through it. And while I'm doing it, I usually have a nice cup of coffee, and it's a little luxury. My cats will join me in the kitchen when I'm making the coffee, and they'll always say good morning. Their food bowl's also in the sink, so that could be part of it. But I wake up early enough that I can take my time and I don't have to rush. Another thing that I find very helpful and very important to kind of tap into that feminine energy that all of us women want to tap into. Well, maybe not all of us, but some of us. Another thing that I do is I move my body and I try to get outside in nature. This kind of overlaps with appreciating beauty, but just being out in fresh air with some sun on my face, walking my animals, or spending time in the garden, cultivating, planting flowers, just being with my plants, being with my animals, communing with nature is an important one, and movement. Whether it's dancing, dancing in my living room, dancing out with others. I love to dance, but dancing is important to me, and I haven't done that in a long time, and I would like to start doing that again. But sometimes I even dance in the living room with the dogs. But dancing, moving, walking. I'm not running anymore. I'm not doing high impact, high cardio things. I find that it's unnecessary, and the science that I've read showed that if you want to lose weight, you're better off in zone 2. So not a slow stroll, but enough where you can still talk and carry on a conversation. But I used to do half marathons, and when I was running a lot and doing the half marathons, I actually gained weight. And since I do want to drop a few pounds, I'm not trying to stress my body to the point where it's going to hold on to the fat because it feels like it's under duress. So I'm doing steady, solid workouts. And then I'm also doing strength training to maintain my muscle mass so that I have a metabolic engine going. So when I'm done talking here, I'm going to go ahead and get in the gym. And I'm going to lift some weights because I'm healthy enough to do that now. And I took a year off from the gym after my brain surgery, but I'm cleared for it. So, and I enjoy it. I enjoy feeling strong, and it also helps my work day go better. When the dogs yank on me suddenly and unexpectedly, I've got the upper body strength and the leg strength to manage them and to keep them under control. So it's an actual thing. You know, functional strength is important to me at this stage in the game. Plus, I'm single, so I've got to carry my own grocery bags in, and I've got to carry things upstairs, and I need to have the strength to do that. I'm also going to start hiking soon. I've joined a hiking club, and I'm going to start hiking with others, hopefully meet some like-minded people, but I need to have the stamina for that. So I'm going to start hiking with my dogs on the weekends in the locations. I've got a hike scheduled in about 3 weeks with the club. And so I'm going to do some hikes with Betty on the same route so that my body's ready for it. So I don't want to be the girl huffing and puffing and collapsed on the side of the trail that they're all wondering if she's having a heart attack. So I'm going to get some extra steps in and do some more hills. I know I can do the flat stuff, but hiking's not about flat. So I need to get some hills in my workouts. But movement is important, I think. You know, moving our body, having a healthy body, loving our body is very feminine. And another thing that I think is probably the epitome of feminine energy is being willing to receive help, to receive, you know, if you need help, not doing it all by yourself, you know, being willing to ask for help when you need it. And when someone offers help, whether it's help with your grocery bags or opening a door, you know, being able to accept it and to say thank you and to be grateful. So I'm working on that. Funny thing is, when I was at the airport, I had men offer to help me with my bags on each flight. Every flight that I had a carry-on bag, and I needed to get it in the overhead bin. And there were nice gentlemen that offered to help me with my bag, and I said yes. I said thank you so much. And it made it easy because that bag was heavy, but it was nice of them to offer, and I think it made them feel good to offer, or they wouldn't have done it. And it felt really good to receive that generous energy from them. So receiving, being willing to receive, you know, to think that you're a strong woman and you can handle everything, that may be true, but you don't have to. And people want to help you. So when they offer to help you, you know, my grandmother told me when I was a little girl, she said, you know, sometimes when people offer something to you, you need to just say thank you. She said, you're doing it for them. It's a blessing for them to be able to give. And she said, and if you do everything for yourself and you never accept a gift and you're not gracious about accepting a gift, you're robbing them of the joy of giving. And so I've always remembered that, you know, there is joy in giving, but somebody has to be willing to receive in order to give. So receiving, being open to gifts, being open to care, being open to people caring about you and offering help and taking that in is very feminine. These things that I've mentioned are not about adding more work and complicating your life. It's actually the opposite. It's all about being in a softer flow with the things that you're doing already. You know, if you're cooking, make it healthy and make it beautiful. And leaning into the things that bring you joy and help you relax naturally. I also think that like a gratitude journal, or just, I don't keep a gratitude journal, but a lot of people do. And just being grateful for the things as they come up. I'm on a dog visit right now, and just enjoying the tasks that you have and not resenting them, and realizing how beautiful your life is, and if it isn't, little ways to make it more beautiful and to more enjoyment. And all of that helps your nervous system relax. And a relaxed nervous system is really leaning into your feminine energy and enjoying the softer things in life. And here's the biggest point, is my version of feminine energy may not look like yours, and they can both still be feminine, but you need to find out which of these tips work for you and leave the rest behind. If some of these work, great. And if I'm missing something, please share in the comments what you do to help lean into your more feminine side. I'll see you next time. Bye.